Goenka from M&M joining us. Mr. Goenka, appreciate you joining us. What we now have to contend with is the notification that's come in from the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. And this says that they are looking to advance the timeline of the switchover to BS6 in Delhi to the 1st of April 2018. And they're also hoping to be able to do that by 2019 across the National Capital Region. How does this impact the automotive sector, if at all, sir?
Okay, I think there is some confusion on what the notification is. I have seen it, and it very clearly says that what the Ministry of Petroleum is doing is advancing availability of BS6 fuel in NCT, that is Delhi, to April 2018.
Yes.
And it does not say anything about the BS6 norms, which are two different things. And fuel availability does not mean that the norms are being advanced. And there is nothing that I have heard or read about the norms being advanced.
Okay, so there is no corresponding notification that has come in yet from the Road and Transport Ministry. So your understanding is that this is a Ministry of Oil and Gas notification to allow BS6 to be available in the National Capital Territory. But do you feel, Mr. Goenka, that perhaps we could see follow-on action now from the Road and Transport Ministry as well? I mean, if the oil companies say that we can provide the BS6 fuel, do you believe that engine specification timeline may also be advanced?
Well, I obviously cannot answer that question as to what is being thought about. But what I can say is that the whole industry, auto industry, is working with a deadline that has been announced of April 1st, 2020 for fuel being for vehicles being available with BS6. And I do not think that anybody can prepone that by 2 years. And be ready by 1st April 2018, because if that was the case, we would have never sort of been concerned about that deadline of April 2020.
So I'm just trying to understand the rationale behind this move. If you're saying that the engine specification norms are unlikely to change, or at least we don't have any information as of now, and the auto industry, you're saying, has not been consulted on advancing those timelines, then what purpose would it serve to have BS6 fuel being available in the NCT? Can a BS4 engine, for instance, use BS6 fuel, sir?
Yes, BS4 engine by and large can use BS6 fuel. There is no problem, because BS6 fuel is designed to, because even when BS6 comes in 2020, there will still be BS4 vehicles that will be running in Delhi or any place in India, and therefore clearly BS6 fuel is usable with BS4 vehicles. That's not a problem at all. I can see three advantages of what the Ministry of Petroleum has announced today. One is, of course, it gives confidence to the auto industry that the fuel will become available on April 2020 throughout the country. So this is the first step, and we were always concerned that could there be a last-minute situation where fuel is not available, even on April 2020. So this gives us confidence that we should not be concerned about fuel availability. That is number one. Number two, when a lower sulfur fuel is being used, there will be some benefit to PM emission, even with the BS4 fuels. Okay, how much is the benefit? I cannot quantify it, but directionally, even BS4 vehicles will have slightly lower PM emission with BS6 fuel. So that advantage will be there.
Okay.
And the third advantage is, again, it's just a thought in my mind, that perhaps Government of India can, rather than regulating that BS6 should come faster in Delhi, could give an incentive that those who launch a BS6 model in Delhi before the time of 2020 can get some kind of benefit.
Okay. So,
and that will incentivize at least some models by some companies to be launched, and we will not wait till April 28. Something can happen by October 19, something can happen by January 20. It can come that much sooner. Okay,
so that to your mind could be the rationale behind the Oil Ministry's notification. But in the context of what we've seen happen in the National Capital Region, and actually it's unfair to only single out the NCR, it's most parts of North India at this point in time suffering from, toxic fumes. Do you worry about perhaps more punitive action against diesel specifically?
And let me also answer one more thing, that, see, unlike BS4, when you have BS6 only in limited area, and if you start selling BS6 vehicles on that basis, then there is a problem of those vehicles not being able to go outside the area. because BS6 vehicles cannot tolerate BS4 fuel, even one tank full.
Okay.
Okay. So that will be a big constraint in saying that only Delhi will have BS6 fuel and BS6 vehicle, because then the Delhi vehicles cannot go outside Delhi, or at least cannot fill fuel outside Delhi. Okay. Coming back to your question, Shereen, it's been very well established that the problem that happens every November, December, January is for reasons other than emission of coming out of vehicles, because that emission is same throughout the year. That does not become high in November, December, and low in June, July. And this problem that happens, unfortunately, every year is because of the burning of the crop waste in Punjab, and everybody recognizes that. And for that reason, every year we cannot be fighting the battle of the diesel vehicle being the culprit. I think that is well established, and I don't think we should revisit that every year. The solution is there. We are going to BS6 in 2 years, 3 years time frame. We live in BS6. BS4 obviously is better than what BS3 was. And that's what we have to work towards. Every year we cannot be revisiting this, in my opinion.
Well, in matters of public health emergencies, we sometimes do see measures being taken which may not be surprising that they're out of the ordinary. But very quickly, sir, let me ask you this. As we are faced with this problem now becoming virtually a perennial problem across large parts of India on an annual basis, and this is something that is not getting better, but in fact is getting worse, and we can argue about the contribution of vehicle emission. But to your mind, sir, leave us with some long-term solutions and also explain to us what the Mahindra strategy is going to be able to address this issue.
Well, see, first of all, as far as the vehicle emission is concerned, we are working to a plan of constantly reducing vehicle emission by going to BS4 first now and then BS6 as time goes on. We also are working very strongly and aggressively on electric vehicles. Electric vehicles, of course, are ultimate solution to any vehicular pollution that happens in NCR or any other region of the country. And that would be a good solution if a country can move towards electric vehicles in near term or medium term. Now, if it is established that diesel vehicles are cause of the problem that we are facing, are major culprit, then whatever needs to be done should be done. I have no problem with that. But I think as of now, nobody is saying that it is primarily diesel vehicles that are causing the current problem that we are facing in NCR area. Okay,
let me end then by asking you, sir, since you talked about electric vehicles, November is when the tender that the government had floated for the electric vehicles, the first consignment is supposed to be delivered. What is the update? When do we expect that to happen?
I'm glad you asked, because today is the day when we have delivered, not delivered, but ceremonial delivery of our first vehicles to EESL in Delhi. And at about 2 o'clock today, we had showcased our first batch of vehicles to them. The delivery will now start any day.
All right.